Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Green Dragon Podcast. I'm your host, Aiden,
And your fellow host, Jake.
and we're joined by a guest, a friend of the podcast, and a longtime friend of mine and Jake, Peter. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi. Pleasure to be here.
Do you want to give the people like a elevator pitch on who is Peter? You can
Sure.
you can be as discreet or go in depth as possible. Yeah, it's all up to you. It's just dependent on how much you want the government tracks us, obviously, because
Always
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm Peter. Yeah, I've known Aiden and Jake for, gosh, too many years now. I don't know when we first met. Um, but yeah, let's see. I'm computer science, software developer. Um, Worked in, man, a lot of different industries. Uh, let's see. So, there was um, legal discovery, uh, healthcare, um, data analytics, and now contracting, which I kind of hit a lot of different industries. But yeah, that's I guess me in a nutshell.
Yeah, Peter's the smart one out of us. He was the one that decided to go down something, somewhat, tech science related, and uh, I feel like I'm over here like playing with like Lincoln Logs still, which is kind of actually my job. I've never actually told this on the podcast. I work in like forest products for a company. I'm not going to say names, but like I Lincoln Logs dealing with wood products is is my job. So while Peter's over here, solving the world's problems with like AI, I'm over here twiddling my thumbs and peddling wood products.
I don't know about solving the world's problems, it's more like causing more problems.
I was gonna say, these days it seems like everything that's going on with computer engineering and AI and all that stuff seems like it's just adding to the complexity of what we have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think my job title is cause problems and then get paid to fix them. So
It's not a bad idea. You're in constant business.
exactly.
You can create the demand. It's a good place to be in. It's a good place to be in. It's not dependent on anybody else.
Yeah, I can cause a lot of problems.
uh, yeah, it's too funny. Yeah, I think we, man. Well, what's crazy is so you obviously Tom too. He's not here tonight, but Tom too. All four of us probably met each other around the same time. Probably when we were about what 5 or 6 years old. So we've all been friends for like the last almost 20 or so years, which is crazy to think about now. We're here. You're causing problems and fixing them, and I'm still doing what I'm doing, causing problems mostly. But no, it's crazy, man. It's like that's one of the things I love about being able to like get on and talk on this show is it's like I get to connect with people that I've always like hung out with, and to a certain extent we get to just share ideas on and record it and put it out there for people to listen to, which is kind of weird because it's like a window into my life. But no, it's great to have you on tonight. I'm hoping to get a better idea. You mentioned the Chat GPT stuff and a lot of the AI stuff. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of that because I don't know about you, Jake, but I have no clue about that stuff. I know we had talked a little bit about it in a previous podcast. Peter, at least I'm absolutely clueless. I think Tom might know a little bit more me. Tom's a little bit more technologically advanced than I am. Still in the Stone Age.
Yeah, now I'm right there with you, Aiden. Technology is not my specialty, although it probably should be, which is why I'm glad we're talking about this tonight, because I mean, it's such a integral part now of everybody's lives. I think it is something that is good to be a little more knowledgeable about, I think.
Yeah, and if Chat GPT can start like writing me emails at work and and more importantly, actually, while we're recording this, this is very important. This is the day before Valentine's Day. If it could start writing Valentine's Day cards for me too,
Oh, it
that
can.
it can.
I had it write me a couple.
You tested this out?
Yeah,
I'll
it's
let
pretty
you.
good too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I like this. Have you tested on any human? Have you tested the writings on any human subjects yet?
Well, I was reading it, and like for the most part, man, it's scary how accurate it can be. Um, just with like a little information you give it. Now, if you do it a couple times, it like tends to repeat, especially if you give it similar prompts,
Okay.
like the main ideas of things.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not like perfect, so it'll mess up a little bit of grammar or
Mm-hmm.
use weird wording, but like I've heard that a lot of students are using it now to like get rough drafts of papers and then just polish them.
I've heard that too. That's what interests me about all this. I know at literally like I know nothing about this, so it might be good to get your just general like overview of what is Chat GPT in a sense. I listened to Lex Friedman talk about it on a podcast today, and that's about the extent of my knowledge. Um, but then wait, are we allowed to get like the sample? Or would you be able to read us the sample writing of your letter? Or is that too
Yeah,
personal?
heck, I can make it create one for us right now.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool.
So like let's do
Let's do like a love letter to Tom,
perfect.
a farewell letter to Tom, since he's on the road.
Oh, I have to reload the page. Um, but yeah, no, it gave me a pretty good rib recipe. I'm making ribs for tomorrow. So it gave me a
Cool.
recipe for that.
So what do you ask it? Do you just ask it for a rib recipe? You're like
Yeah.
how to make ribs, and then it just gives you something.
Yeah, it gave me like nine instructions, and the ingredients is really crazy because like normally you have to scroll through, I don't know, like 5 pages to get like a recipe that you want.
Yeah.
So like my way of thinking about it is it's just a way of searching the internet
Mm-hmm.
and getting quick responses in one place.
Interesting.
That's like one way of looking at it, right?
Okay.
Obviously you
Yeah.
can do a lot more than that,
Mm-hmm.
but
So it's just like an optimized Google search engine. I mean, like the search engine essentially,
yeah,
but more intelligent.
exactly. Which is kind of scary, right? Because at the same time, while it could be used for a nice way to get information,
Mm-hmm.
it could also be used as a way of just giving you one source of information because you're just typing in here to get it, right?
True.
So
Yeah.
whoever controls that.
Not only that, but like, could you like? We're probably gonna get put on a watch list for. I'll still say it. Could you like type in like how to make a bomb, like potentially, and it would give you the like instructions for how to make a bomb? Like, could this be
Yeah,
like used as okay? So
probably.
so are there any filters to this thing, or does it just pull any information that's already like I'm guessing it pulls from the database of information that's already on the internet, right?
Yeah,
And then just
that's
creates a smart answer essentially.
yes, that's my assumption. I mean,
Okay.
like it's not perfect. Like I've seen
Mm-hmm.
it. Some of my favorite chess YouTubers have played with it, and it makes illegal moves a lot of the time. Sometimes it just creates pieces, but
Hmm.
um, it's a lot better at like language processing, which is what it's like designed to do. So here I'm gonna run it. It's just the prompt is love letter to Tom,
Okay.
and it's gonna start running, and it just types out some stuff, and I'll paste it in the chat once it finishes.
Okay.
Now,
like, so obviously the dumbed down explanation of this is that it's essentially a smarter Google search engine, right? Like it's supposed to give you a response that is it optimized to give you a response that like another human being would give you? Is that how it's set up? How does it work? How is it set up? And I mean, I'm no expert here, I'm not very smart when it comes to this stuff. So you can dumb it down a little, but
so here's the I'll just paste it in chat so you guys take a look at it.
We'll read this.
Yeah,
we'll read this live. Wow. Okay. I'll read this and then we'll let you give a rundown on what it is.
Yeah.
All right. This is our love letter to Tom. Apparently, my dearest Tom, as I sit to write this letter, my heart is overflowing with love and affection for you. You have brought so much joy and happiness into my life. I feel incredibly lucky to have you, oh boy, as my partner. I still remember the day when we first met. It was a sunny afternoon. I was immediately drawn to your kind smile and warm personality. Every moment spent with you since has been a blessing, and I look forward to spending many more years by your side. Your love has changed me in so many ways, and you have helped me become a better person, and I am so grateful for that. I love how you always know how to make me laugh. And you listen to me when I need someone to talk to. Your support and understanding mean the world to me. I want you to know that I will always love you, no matter what. Through good times and in bad, I will be there for you, supporting you and cheering you on. You are my rock. You are my best friend. You are my soulmate. I can't imagine life without you. So on this Valentine's Day, I want to express my love for you in a way that words cannot only begin to capture. You are the love of my life, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for us. Forever and always, the Green Dragon Podcast. That was beautiful. Wow. I mean, geez, I don't think I could have come up with that like in my most heartfelt drunk moment. I think you could have given me like all the whiskey on the planet and I still wouldn't have come up with something that beautiful.
Right? And it's like it did that in like, I don't know, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you how long. I mean, you put in the prompt. How long? Like does it have like the thinking like circle, the loading circle?
So it actually does a line by line. It'll like type it out.
Really? Like real time. Oh, geez.
Yeah. So it's amazing how quickly it does it too. It just starts going.
Huh. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So one of the things I heard is you could like potentially, one of the interesting things about it is you could write a letter, like we could have written this love letter to Tom in the style of like Shakespeare or like Hemingway, right? Like you could put in like love letter to Tom in the style of, I mean, anybody, right? Like, and then it would pull like that style writing, probably use the same vocabulary from the database, and then I'm gonna create something like that.
If you give it like this.
All right, I lost you guys there for a second. I'm sorry. The government didn't like what we were talking about, so they just shut us off. They do that every once in a while on this podcast. They just kind of randomly. Actually, it's China. I'm still on their radar.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying? Go ahead.
That's why they sent the balloon to get you.
Yeah, yeah, guys. The balloon was me. It was for me. That's why, I said on the podcast last week, about halfway through the week when it was supposedly over the area, I went outside and I waved and I gave it the middle finger and then I went back inside. And so they're still after me. That's why there's been another 5, flying objects over North America that have been shot out of the sky. They're actually coming for me. No, in all seriousness, sorry. I think I lost you. I asked you the question and you started to explain it and then you cut out.
Yeah, I gave it the prompt of love letter to Tom in the style of Shakespeare, and I put that one in the chat so we can take a look at the differences.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see how good this thing is. So is this thing constantly updating? Oh, will you just resend that in the chat? I think it got lost. Here we go. Wow. I got really smart. From thy eyes to thy gentle soul, thou art the object of my fondest goal. With every breath I take, I do confess, my love for thee I cannot suppress. When first we met, my heart did skip a beat, and since that day, my love doth make it complete. Thou hast brought joy to my life, and dost relieve the pain of solitude that I did grieve. Thy love doth changed me, a day doth turned to night, and with thy touch my soul doth take flight. Thou art my rock, my steadfast friend, my love for thee shall never bend. So on this day of love, my friend, my sweet Tom, I give thee my heart, and that is no shame, for thou art mine, and I am thine. Till the end of time, our love shall shine. Yours faithfully. Insert your name. Who's Tom's lover? That's the real question. Who is this man? Who is this mysterious person?
We should just create a Hallmark card channel.
Well, that's what's really cool about. I mean, you could just. I mean, seriously. I mean, this is a great business idea. I've seen this actually for music. There's a company out there, and you send them some information about you and your significant other or whoever you want a song written about, and they send it off to their songwriters and they write a song and you can get it made in any style. So you pick your writer, but now you don't even need to do that. We should start a card business. I'm gonna quit my day job and just start doing Chat GPT cards, customizable.
Yeah, it's crazy. That comes out so fast. There's really, I mean, if you think about it, right? The process of writing those 5-page or 5-paragraph essays that we had to do in middle school through college.
Oh yeah. It's changed the game. This is gonna.
Oh, yeah.
So my question would be then, if you were, because I think a lot of the professors, at least because me and Peter went to the same school, and so a lot of the professors at our school, I don't know if you had any that were they were pretty militant about checking the database to see if you had copied anything. So would this show up on that? Or would this just be its own thing? So it would look like you could do a whole paper on X, Y, and Z in the writing style that's yours.
That's a good question. My guess is it would not show up in the database. Because this seems to be mostly original writing, right? So my guess is that no, it would be unique. Which, I mean, at that point, right, there's no point in writing the paper. I'd say the whole point in the exercise should turn to be more of can you come up with an original idea? Because
True, yeah.
technology is just supposed to make our lives easier, better, faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we have technology now that can write a persuasive paper, what's the point in learning how to write it? I think it'd be more important to learn how to create persuasive arguments to feed
Mm,
this.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, what are you using, or how are you improving your knowledge to feed the system?
Yeah. Because just
Yeah.
think about it, like when the kids in what is it, like fifth grade, they're writing papers and stuff. When
Mm-hmm.
they're in college, just think of how much better it's gonna be, right?
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be
Yeah,
you won't have to do any of this stuff. I mean,
exactly.
you'll think it, and Neuralink will turn it into a paper and send it to your professor automatically. Elon Musk will be in your brain doing computations and calculations during your math class and spitting out answers. You'll be able to answer. You'll be able to answer in whatever voice you want to. You'll be able to do Donald Trump. It's gonna be huge. Actually, wait, no. We got to do something, guys. This is for Tom exclusively. Can we write a love letter to Tom from Donald Trump,
Ooh.
please? I mean, we will turn this into a clip and we will put this all over the internet because I mean, it would be amazing. I'd love to hear this. Oh, this is fascinating. I really, part of me wishes I would have had this as a a student, but the other part of me kind of is glad that I didn't, because I think I would have used this like a degenerate gambler uses money. I mean, and okay.
This is awesome.
Sorry, the Chinese really do hate me tonight. I don't know what's going on. My connection's fine. I'm telling you. Okay. But we've got the Donald Trump love letter to Tom. So Tom, if you're listening to this, we're sorry you can't be with us tonight to hear Donald, express his love. Jay, I mean, who here can do the best Donald Trump? I don't know if I can do a good Donald Trump.
It's not me.
Okay, Jay,
Yeah, I don't know.
okay.
I don't know if I can.
All right,
Pull that off.
let me channel my inner Donald. Actually, I'll just
Well,
read this.
yours was pretty good that you did just a couple
Okay.
minutes ago.
Tom, let me tell you, nobody writes love letters like me. I have the best love letters, the greatest love letters. And this one, let me tell you, it's going to be huge. I've been in this a long time, in this game a long time. I've seen a lot of love, and I know what works. But when I met you, Tom, I knew this was something special. You're a winner, Tom, a real winner. You've got that spark, drive, that know how. And let me tell you, it's been an honor to be by your side. I love how you always know how to make me laugh, and love how you always stand up for what you believe in. You're a fighter, Tom. That's what America needs. That's what this world needs. And that is why I love you. So on this Valentine's Day, Tom, I want to tell you that you mean the world to me. You're my partner, my friend, my soulmate. And I promise you, Tom, I'm going to love you for the rest of my life. Yours truly, Donald J. Trump.
It's pretty good.
That was a pretty bad impression, but a beautiful love letter. Tom's gonna love that one. I think we'll send that. I think we'll just copy and paste this and just send it to him. No, we'll take this clip and we'll send it to him. He's, I really wish he could be here to listen to this, to entertain himself as he drives to Vegas today. But I think this will make his week, Peter. So
Great.
yeah.
Put it on some merch.
Yeah. We'll throw like a QR code on there. It'll take you to a video where you can watch this. But you know what'd be amazing? That so do you think this will get? And this is where I wanted to go with this. Do you think this
Yeah.
will get to the point where you like they'll have like an AI video of Donald Trump saying like reading this love letter to Tom? Do you think it can get to that point
Oh,
fairly easy?
100%.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear because you know I really want to know that one day Donald will be able to talk to Tom
Yeah.
on a video.
Yeah, there was what was it, like a year ago? I was watching this video where they've got the audio replication of people's voice.
Hmm.
Like they've got it. It wasn't perfect, but it was really close.
Really?
Yeah,
So,
and you had
so
to
they're
like,
right there with the replication.
yeah. And then, I mean, I know everybody's been talking about deepfakes for a while.
Hmm.
So, I mean, with the combination of the two, that would be
Yeah, I mean
that'd be crazy.
it would be crazy. I mean, there's that guy on I don't know if you guys have seen him. He's on like Instagram maybe. He's like the Tom Cruise deepfake. He's a celebrity. I don't know. I don't what celebrity. I just know him as the Tom Cruise deepfake. I feel like he's ruined his like his ability to market himself because now he's just the Tom Cruise deepfake. I know he's a really famous guy, but I don't know
Uh,
what for other than being the Tom Cruise deepfake.
that's what I know him for.
But it's impressive. Like you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, it's like that stuff's scary. And I was watching this guy talking about deepfakes and how um yeah, it's like there are things that deepfakes are it's hard to deepfake, like fingers, stuff like
Hmm.
that. But if
Hmm.
you're wearing like gloves or just keep your hands out of it,
Yeah.
um, then you have to pay really close attention in order to tell if it's a deepfake or not.
Huh. Yeah, that makes me nervous because then like it could be used in nefarious ways. Like they could like the government could just like set you up for things or like whoever's the interested party could just set you up for doing stuff that you didn't actually do.
Yeah.
Take a video of like a bank robbery and like slap your face on it. Would
Yeah.
that is that possible or does it have to be like does the faking have to like do they have to I guess as the video is being recorded, kind of add that on, or can they take like a previously like a video that's like kind of already been recorded and then throw like a fake face and kind of edit it in a
Yes.
way? How does that all work? I'm clueless.
So as far as deep faking goes, my understanding is you have to have a lot of pictures of the person's face in a
Hmm.
lot of different situations and lighting and stuff
Okay.
in order to know what it's supposed to look like in all these different situations, right?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it also helps a lot if the person is like the same build as the person you're trying to deepfake,
Mm-hmm.
because then it doesn't have to like stretch or distort anything.
I see.
Um, but like that's why you see deep faking of celebrities a lot because there's thousands and thousands of pictures from to choose from and train like because it's a model that you have to train the deep fake on.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take like a ton of pictures of the face that you want to deep fake and the face that you want to like put it over so that it knows how to match the celebrity's face
Hmm.
to the person you want to put it on.
Hmm. That's fascinating. So that could be potentially used. I mean, think about that moving forward. Actors won't even have to show up for the movies. They just have somebody show up and they can deep fake the whole thing. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
potentially,
I
right?
mean, yeah, look what they did with like Paul Walker
Hmm.
or is it Moff Tarkin from the Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Carrie Fisher as well. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Are there yeah, I think it's hard not to like be a little bit excited about this stuff because it's really cool, but at the same time like I guess it's probably like it's probably not a good thing long term. Like I feel like a lot could go wrong with this in so many different ways, but it's really cool. Like this Chat GPT thing, I think it's like really cool, but like also could be very problematic depending on like who's using it. I think the scary thing is like who's controlling kind of like is there is there censorship with it, and like is there ability for a government to or a special interest group to control kind of the information that's being put out there through it, because it would be
Yeah,
so easy to it'd be so easy to do that with this, I feel like.
it really would be, especially because it doesn't tell you any of the sources where it got stuff from.
Mm,
It just says, here's the information you were looking for.
yeah. So
So,
so who's like, forgive my ignorance once again,
uh,
but who are the designers of this? Like, does anybody own like the intellectual property here? Like, who owns this currently? Who's it controlled by?
yeah, so I just asked Chat GPT who owns it. It's owned by OpenAI, a
Okay.
research organization dedicated to creating and promoting friendly AI that benefits humans.
Hmm.
Like this company was founded in 2015 by Elon Musk,
Hmm.
um, Sam Altman,
Hmm.
Greg,
I've heard that
uh,
name.
yeah, bunch of people, with the goal of ensuring that artificial intelligence technology is developed in a way that is safe and beneficial to humans.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's not very specific.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think it would be super easy to censor, to like put censorship in place without
Yeah.
anybody knowing about it, right?
Yeah, it seems that way. It seems like it's kind of yeah, because nothing, I mean, obviously, up until this point, nothing's really being regulated here, which less regulations typically better when it comes to speech platforms. But then you run the risk, I think, here is one person or one group controlling kind of the ideas being shared. That's my
Yeah,
like
that's
that's my main worry with this, I think, is just like what type of like what type of narrative is it trying to push around? I mean, it's bad enough with all the news sources that we got to deal with on a regular basis, but then if our main source of information is turns into Chat GPT, then it's like, because like at least with Google, I feel like at least with Google, even though it's got its algorithm on what it wants to show you first, like at least you can still find things, and you know the sources, like you know where it's coming from, so you can control it a little bit. Whereas this, it's just
yeah.
it's just the information on demand, so to speak.
Yeah, totally removes the accountability factor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so like that's this. Oh man. All right, time to go on a soapbox. Um, the the interesting thing about tech right now is that a lot of the people that are getting into tech slash have been going into tech for the last like 5 to 10 years are very liberal, right? So that like I mean you saw that with Twitter. They went one way very hard for quite a while. And then it was only because Elon Musk bought them that they've gone back to being a free speech platform. Um, so I think that is a big like concern going forward is um, who is owning things, right? Where
Yeah.
and what are they doing with them? Because like Elon Musk seems like a great guy, right? But I mean, he's doing great things with Twitter as far as free speech goes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. it's kind of scary just relying on one person to keep a
Yeah,
platform.
yeah, no, it's because at the same time, Elon Musk could be the polar opposite, and Twitter could be, even worse than it was, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's very dependent on the values of whoever's kind of running the company at the time or who owns the company. That's something interesting. So, in the little preparation I did to learn about Chat GPT, I listened to Lex Friedman. He got on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about it, and he's like that's the one thing is like ideally you'd have like a kind of a decentralized structure of like ownership or of control, like control of the information on this, so it's not just one person or one company controlling what is the information that's being shared, but it's kind of this decentralized structure. So you've got more, or the hope would be that you'd have less shenanigans with
Okay.
with going on, you know what I mean? um
That'd be kind of
but
like Wikipedia.
Yeah, to a certain extent, it would be something somewhat like Wikipedia, where it's a lot of different people um, adding to the same information pool.
Yeah, I get.
But then again, I mean, I don't know if that really solves the issue, because you could still have a large group of people adding to an information pool that are inherently biased.
Yeah.
So I think as long as like humans are involved in it, it's just
Yeah.
screwed. I think that's the problem. I think we all have to turn into like cyborgs, and like we all have to like we have to just bite the bullet and put the Neuralink in our heads and accept our fate.
Then what happens when the Neuralink gets hacked?
I know, right? What are your thoughts on Neuralink? I know, like Musk, obviously, I think what its implications are interesting, but like there's so much there that I'm like, do I really want a chip thrown in my head and
Yeah.
like left at the mercy, like be completely left at the mercy of whoever's programming whatever's going to be on this Neuralink?
Yeah. I mean, I know how many problems can be in any code. So like, do I really trust someone that much to not have made a mistake and possibly let the battery overheat or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like think about the evolution of like the smartphone or like the iPhone, right? You've got like the first iPhone, basically a worthless like brick of metal and glass with like a really crappy like I did it even have I don't even think it might have had a camera. And then you have like what are we at right now? The iPhone, are we at a 15? I think it is it 14.
Oh man.
It's either a
I think
14,
it's
14.
yeah, 15. I
It
think
is a
is what the
15?
latest
Okay.
one is. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
So the iPhone 15, and still it comes out and there's problems with it. So if they haven't been able to figure it out over the course of 20 years with an iPhone, I don't have much faith in the ability to in them to figure out a chip that goes inside my head.
Yeah. I mean, just think about what was it, the Galaxy 7 that they still make announcements on airplanes for because they blew up.
Because they blew up, yeah. Oh, those are the good days. I remember. I think at that time, Peter, we were in on a math team together, and I think somebody on the math team had a Galaxy 7. I'm pretty sure there was a couple, because they were all like, I mean, you get a bunch of nerds together and they're all like anti-Apple. So
Oh yeah.
bound
Apple's
to
the
be
worst.
there's bound to be a bunch of Samsungs floating around, and I'm pretty sure there was a 7 in there just waiting to, you know, blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have very little faith in. No offense, I don't have much faith in the the tech sector right now when it comes to building something that's gonna fix my
Yeah.
life. Like you
All right.
said, you guys are good at creating a lot of problems.
That's what we do.
It's what you do best. Uh,
Speaking of that, Peter,
Yeah.
have you noticed the emergence of AI affecting your role as a software developer or the computer science industry in general?
Um, that's a good question. So me directly, no. But I could see how something like this, like Chat GPT would be able to, um, I guess, force developers to think more big picture because I know that it can create small scripts and stuff like that. Um, so I guess it would force you to think more um, in a way of designing applications um, rather than, yes, I don't know, memorizing stuff, which is a lot of what college is about, which is another thing I have problems with as far as computer science goes. College is not worth it. There's a lot of like coding camps and stuff. I'm working with two guys, great developers. They went to a coding camp, and I want to say it was like 15 weeks long, and they got like internships straight after that. Whereas you go to college for 4 years, and you're like, man, I really hope I get a job. And then you learn basically nothing in college. At least that's what I found, is that it really didn't prepare me for like what an actual job would be like because it didn't teach me the important things as far as computer science went.
yeah, I feel like that's all around. I don't think too many people come out of college these days with much more than a bachelor's and partying at the very
Yeah.
least. Um, but it is interesting. Do you feel like because for a while there, like the hot job, the hot like industry to go into is computer programming, um, or something along those lines. Do you feel like the job market's still strong? Like, or do you feel like it's waning a little bit? Because
Um,
like, do you feel like it's becoming like a more competitive, like the pool's like kind of thinning a little bit as things get smarter with the technology?
um, I haven't felt the slimming. I think that it's still growing a lot because, especially because like this technology is still very new, right? So there's going to be, I'm going to guess that there's going to be another like three things like this in the next year. Um, so everybody's going to be trying to develop one, and you're going to need a lot of people to do that. Um, on top of that, there's still a lot of people that won't embrace it, won't use it. Um, and there's probably going to be more that won't know how to use it. They won't know how to get it to, I don't know, create the software that they want out of it. So, um, I mean, we've had what, 4 jobs in the last 3.5 years. Um, only one of them I got laid off from because of COVID. The other ones were just hopping around. And super happy at where I'm at now. So, um, yeah, I think that the tech area is still growing a lot.
Hmm. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. It gives me hope that there's still like an industry in our country that's worth getting into and isn't just completely dying off. Um, so where do you think this thing goes next? I mean, we've got we can write love letters to Tom from Donald Trump, but like what do you think the next big step with this is? Do you think obviously the big companies are probably going to come out with replicas, right? Can they?
Mhm.
Or is this like a patented, is this like is there a specific patent on this type of technology right now?
Um, they definitely can. I mean, I was reading a little bit before this, and I think Google tried creating their own,
Okay.
but that failed when they released it and they had to take it down. Um, dropped their stock by, I don't know, millions or
That's what
billions.
happened?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
happened.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I think the reason they took it down was because it was spreading misinformation. Not
Sounds
sure how
about
you
right.
classify that, but
It's everything Google puts out. I don't know. It was telling people that that Paul Pelosi is actually has a gay lover, and that Nancy's an old hag, and they're like, oh, misinformation. Pull it down. Pull it
that's
down.
not true.
They're like, Biden's losing his mind, and they're like, pull it down. Pull it down.
He did not fall up those stairs.
The AI was getting a little too conservative for him. They were like, we gotta pull it down. It's gonna be Terminator, but it's gonna be the Donald Trump of Terminators.
Yeah, man, that's a good question. Where does it go? Um, my guess would be on working on more. So right now, it does a really good job of understanding what you're asking it to do and handling that. But I don't think it's too great at doing complex things. Like I know um my sister tried to feed it this prompt for an essay about, oh gosh, it was like Beowulf or something like that. Um and it wasn't able to like cite sources or um I guess like hit on some of the more complex points of the prompt she gave it. So my guess is it just goes deeper into that and trying to get the um man, I don't know how to like say it, but like the heart of the message, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's currently very surface level. It really
Yeah.
doesn't dig deep at all. So it's good at answering a basic question currently, but it doesn't have like that component of like human or emotional intelligence that you'd want something to have to really dig deep.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So it's probably going to get like how long, because obviously like I think from my understanding there's already been several like updates on, I mean it's constantly updating itself, right? So like how long does it take for a system like this to like update itself to get to that point? Because it doesn't seem like, if it's constantly learning, it seems like it'd learn pretty quick. Or does it need to be, I guess, does more need to be added to the code and the program for this to become smarter in different ways, like emotional intelligence and more like human like aspects of intelligence?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess it depends on how it's programmed. So,
Hmm.
um I can't imagine that it's taking all the information from users and the questions they feed it. Because I know that I think it was like Twitter tried to do that one time, and the users totally destroyed that bot in a day. Uh, Turned out to be like I don't know, I think it was saying like let's start a race war in just like a couple hours of like opening
Jeez.
up. Yeah, it was wild.
That's crazy.
Um, but yeah, I'm sure they're doing guidance behind the scenes. Um, I think I was reading that it's like a pre-trained model, so none of the information that's being fed into it is actually used to um use to train that specific version. They can use it
Hmm.
for like the next version, but
Okay.
it's like once they release it, it I guess has like the specific parameters that it's
Ah,
going to
okay.
run with.
And so it doesn't update or use the data that's collected from the previous until okay, until it's re kind of the updates issued, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, it's fascinating because I think that like the further and further we go down this road, I feel like the further and further humans are just going to become like these like little shells, and we're just going to have computers running our lives, and eventually we'll. I don't know what you think. Do you think eventually we will become like cyborgs? Do you think we're headed down that path? Do you think in like 100 years we'll be like cyborgs?
I think a lot of people will choose that path. I think there will be people that say, that's not for me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be that connected.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think a lot of people will say, hey, this is making my life better, and choose to go that way.
Yeah, I was just trying. I mean, I was just thinking from like from a from just a like for the general person's quality of life standpoint, and like with AI, and then um, when you've got things like these, I think eventually, I think these VR headsets is the virtual reality stuff's really gonna throw us for a loop, because I think we'll get to the point where I think there's a lot of people out there that are gonna start living. I think it's already happening to a certain extent with like video games and stuff like that, but you have people that are living in like a virtual world. But then if you give them something so realistic where it becomes almost like real life, and then if you're able to create stimuluses through like something like Neuralink that gives you that same like neurological uh, the same, it fires your neurological pathways in the same way. Like I think there'll be a lot of people out there that just like choose to like put on a headset and just like live a virtual life
Yeah.
to escape like the reality of, you know, the pain of what it is to be like a normal human being. Because let's be honest, it's not all like sunshine and like sunshine and rainbows all the time. It's like a normal human. You got to worry about things. You got to work if you want to be successful. I mean, you can just go down the normal handout liberal rabbit hole if you want to. There's a lot of people that do that.
I mean, from what you were saying, yeah, people are already doing that, like just, and the technology isn't even there, but people are escaping to video games, VR, YouTube. I mean, all the time. So,
Yeah, I mean, people. I think people in general just, especially when things get really tough, the like automatic response is like, okay, how can I like get out of this, or how can I like sort of patch this, like if it's an emotional void, how can I patch this emotional void, or like how can I patch this um feeling of inadequacy, or whatever it is. Like it's just easier to kind of put a band-aid on a bullet hole than it is to address the real issue. It's just
yeah.
easier. um but yeah, I think like that's why I like this thing, because I want to do less work. But at the same time, like it makes me worried that like I'll become like lazy. Like I feel like this is a great way to enable already lazy people.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you use it, right? If you use that time saved to then go do something productive, I'm all for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm just, I'm gonna guess that like 90% of people are just gonna use it and then be like, well, I've got nothing planned, and go watch a movie or something.
Yeah, exactly. Fall deeper into the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, it makes me like, as much as, yeah, it makes me like nervous for the next generation of people, like raising kids in the next 20 years is going to be like really wild. Like I think about what my parents had to go through as parents, raising like me and my siblings during like the kind of the tech boom, so to speak. And then I think about like, oh my gosh, what's it going to be like in the next like 2 years? It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I remember how addicting playing on a Nintendo Advanced game or a Game Boy Advanced was. I mean, video games are just leagues ahead of that now.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's like crazy. Like since we were kids, like till now, like you can look like I was watching I think there was an ad for I don't know what game it was, but I was watching the Super Bowl the other day. So there's a video game ad came up. I thought it was like a movie. And then it was like PlayStation and I was like what the heck? Like that's insane. I remember when like Tom Brady was this little pixelated guy on Madden 1 and it was like what the heck? I saw something funny the other day. It was like Tom over the span of Tom Brady's career, it went from this to this, and it was like this like little pixelated character on a screen in Madden 1 all the way or whatever it was when Tom Brady got drafted all the way to like Madden whatever it is now. And it's like it basically looks like Tom Brady on a Xbox game. It's insane like just what's happened over the last 20 years. And then you think about like, because I like to think of like the advancements in technology almost as like like it's an exponential like progress thing. Like once you already have like with the base we already have currently in 2023, like I'm sure development will only grow exponentially moving forward, and it always seems to because you already have a very like solid base in information and ability. And the more you grow that, the more it multiplies.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I remember having a landline in the house.
I
Yeah.
know. And then you ask like somebody that's like 10 years younger than us, and you're like, they're like, what's a landline? And you're like,
Right.
what?
Or even like the term home phone.
Yeah.
People are like, what's that?
What's a home phone? Yeah. Yeah, it's baffling how like quickly things can change.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that they invented the internet.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if you think about it, planes were like first starting to get used around like World War One.
Mm-hmm.
Like World War One, that was they were using planes for just reconnaissance.
Yeah.
And then World War Two, it was like, man, time to start fighting with them.
Yeah, they're like, I bet we could strap a machine gun on this thing. They're like, if we create a little bubble where a man floats around with a machine gun, we can mount it to the bottom of the plane.
Yeah. And now we have people just living in space in this
Yeah,
international space station. I mean, that went so fast, especially like during the Cold War, because that was what like
yeah. Are you a believer that we've landed on the moon, or are you a denier? Do you
I'm a
think
believer.
you're a believer?
Yeah.
What makes you believe? Because I'm
Well,
skeptical.
I don't think Russia would have just like given up on it, if we hadn't actually done it.
See, I think here's my theory. I think we were really good because Russia came out with like the first man in space, right?
Oh, they beat us in everything else.
Yeah, they beat us in everything else, and like
It's like,
the first man in space. Who's the first in space was? I'm gonna
Gagarin,
butcher
I
his.
think.
Oh, Yuri
Gagarin.
Gagarin. There we go. Um, so he was the first man in space, but they came out with like this video of him in space, but it was like clearly fake. Because like there was no way they had like a whole camera crew up there in space with him, right? So like that whole time was so like propaganda filled. At least this is where I said, I think we went to space. I think we made it to the moon. I don't think we made it to the moon when we said we made it to the moon. I think, Hollywood did a really good job creating the moon landing, And then we made it up there, and we're like, okay, we've done it. We're just gonna kind of wipe our hands clean and like pretend like there wasn't that 5 year gap or two, whatever it was, 2 years. I see. I don't even know. I think it's just. I think there was so much. There was so much pressure though going on to be the first to make it to the moon. It seems with the equipment we had in Hollywood, it seems like I just don't trust them enough to be like, there was definitely some producer out there who's like, he was like, we can do this and we can make it look real. I just don't. I feel like it seems so American to want to fake something like that, doesn't it? Just to stick it to the Russians' face. I rewatched in preparation for the Super Bowl because it was the Eagles versus the Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia Eagles. I watched the Rocky movie. I watched it was Rocky 4 with the Russian in it, and that movie still. Or was it 3 or was it 4?
I think it was 4, right?
I think I'm pretty sure it was 4. It's with Drago.
Yeah. What was 3?
3 was
Is
3
that
3
Mr. T or no?
I think
Or
3
is he
was
2?
Mr. T. 3 was Mr. T.
Okay.
He was, what was his name?
Clubber.
Clubber, right? Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 3 was Mr. T. 4 was Drago. But man, I was like, this movie gets me hyped, first of all. But they were like ruthless, man. They were going at each other's throats, and it's in a way, I still feel like we need to get like somebody back in as our president, and Trump did a really good job at this, really like sticking the knife in the side and like poking fun, like just like creating that like rivalry again. I think it was good for us. I think we really pushed things. I think we did things that we'll never recover from as a country. Um, I think it was a great time to be in the patriotism. I mean,
Yeah.
think about the Rocky movies that were great. There were so many movies back then that were just like straight propaganda. It was beautiful. We need good old fashioned American propaganda to come back. Not any of this woke, you know, Me Too movement stuff. We need real American propaganda. We need Chat GPT to come up with some real American propaganda. No, it's funny to like look back and like I feel like people were just more patriotic back then. Like honestly,
100%.
I don't know what happened to everybody. I don't know if they like all they fed us soy and GMO products and we all just turned into a bunch of wusses. But I mean, I don't know what happened. What changed between the Cold War and now that's like created all this. I like to think of it as like it's a very like anti patriotic, anti nationalist movement.
I feel like some of it could be social media, possibly,
That's
just
true.
because it turns, I don't know, it's inherently narcissistic, I think. So like we're also, and I say in general as a population, so turned in upon ourselves that I don't know, I guess like we think that's all that matters now, or that that's the most important thing at least, is what's in and around us.
Hmm.
Because I mean, yeah, it does seem like it's like a 2000s type of phenomenon. This kind of loss of national pride, you would call it.
I even feel like it.
Like really after 9/11, I feel like
Yeah.
I think that was the last time it was
Yeah, I feel like there
really.
was maybe a little waning in the 90s, maybe. And then I think 9/11 kind of sparked back that patriotism for a few years. And then I think after that, it just completely died off. And I
I
don't
mean,
know if,
like, sorry.
yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like during Vietnam, there was a lot of anti-war,
That's true.
That's a
anti-American
good
stuff
point.
going on. But I think it also has to do with like the war in Iraq
Yeah.
and a lot of that.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, people not realizing that we are in the fairest and the best country for everyone.
Well, I think at least for me, I look at this and it's like I think conflict a lot of times like really encourages like conflict, like external threat really encourages patriotism.
Mhm.
And without that external conflict, you can't really have. Um, I mean, it's very easy to become comfortable and lazy and not realize like what you take for granted. So I think that's a lot of like what's gone on because I feel like a lot of the conflicts we've been in since. I mean, the only one that really spiked that was the attacks on 9/11, and that really like boosted the patriotism. But besides that, really nothing since the Cold War, I mean, really gave us that like sense of an external threat that we had to band together as like countrymen to help fight, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I wonder if that's part of it. I think it was like John Adams even said when they were founding the country. We talked about a little bit about this last week. He was like super pessimistic, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like the American people are like very like lazy and immoral, and you know, it's only through conflicts that they can band together." I mean, he nailed it right on the head. I think we've had our good days and our bad days, but like, I think as soon as we get like comfortable and lazy, things just start to like fall apart. And we've been lazy for so long now. Like you've had two whole generations of being lazy. I mean, people call millennials like it's an insult for being a lazy, like fat piece of shit. I mean, like it's not a compliment to be called a millennial. It's like being called a boomer.
Yeah. Boomers did it right.
They did it right, and that's why the millennials always, they like to give the boomers a hard time, but really it's the millennials that are the problem. I'm a firm anti-millennial believer.
Yeah. And, have you guys seen the movie Hacksaw Ridge?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, what you were saying reminded me of a scene in that where he was like, the one guy was in military court and he was talking about how people from his town committed suicide when they got the 4F unfit. And like that's how much they wanted to fight for their country. That's crazy. Like I couldn't think of anyone that would do that now. Like most of the conversations I have or had when it was like, oh no, it's the World War III thing.
Hmm.
It was just like, yeah, I'd go to Canada. That's what like everybody was saying to avoid the draft. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, I know. It's sad because it's like as much as like I think that the sad thing is like the government's become so corrupt. It's like the people don't want to even fight for it anymore. Like, I mean, because really, you're not fighting for American values anymore when you go to war for America. And I think that's kind of the thing that, like, the whole Iraqi war really. I wonder too if that kind of destroyed the patriotism in going out and fighting for your country. Not completely, but I think it disheartened a lot of people to see like the government and politicians taking advantage of our military might and using it for their own gain, personal gain, political gain, whatnot. So I think that disheartens a lot of people to see that going on, and it's like, well, I'm going to fight for Joe Biden's. No, actually, you're going to fight for Hunter Biden's cocaine addiction. I mean, seriously, I mean, that's what it seems like. I don't know. It's like this. I think that's part of it too. So I wonder if it's like I think overall, I think there's just a loss of like that American sort of value system in the
Mhm.
country, and it's kind of corrupted things on all
Yeah.
levels.
Yes. As far as I remember, people were like, they were behind the war in Iraq for like a little while at the start of it. And then once we like found out this is all just about oil, then everybody was like, well, this is dumb. Why are we doing this?
Yeah,
I mean,
why
it
are
wasn't
we?
about,
Yeah, why are we over there dying for oil control? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we're the best country at fighting these proxy wars, and I mean it's always kind of been the case since really most of the wars we fought in have been proxy wars. You look at what's going on in Ukraine right now, and it's just like it's just something to feed the military industrial complex. So it's unfortunate, but yeah. Hey, we're coming up on our like hour and 10 minute mark here, so I want to wrap things up. But I was thinking maybe we should test out Chat GPT one more time to
Yeah.
close off the podcast. Um, hmm. I'm trying to decide what would be the most politically incorrect thing to ask Chat GPT. And I feel like we should.
You're gonna get my account banned, aren't
I know I am.
you?
I know I am. I really want to see what Chat GPT does with Kamala Harris. No, actually, Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden, the stumbling, bumbling big man, ice cream licking, child sniffing, president of the United States. I want to hear what Joe Biden has to say about, since it was the Super Bowl yesterday, I want to hear what Joe Biden has to say about the Eagles losing the Super Bowl. It was very disappointing, by the way. If you watched the Super Bowl, this is to anybody that watched the Super Bowl. I firmly believe the NFL is rigged. I'll no longer be participating in any NFL viewership. Roger Goodell is a criminal and should be tried as one.
I
And
second that.
yeah,
Did you see the final score? It was 2 points off the leaked script
yep,
that
two
came out
points off
before
the
the
leak
game.
script. Yeah, the NFL is scripted. They're going to come for me. China's going to come for me. They're all coming for me now. Roger Goodell is probably going to show up with his cronies at my apartment tonight. So if nobody hears from me, that's why I've been taken. But no, Roger, yeah, what? Oh, it
Oh,
won't give us anything?
yeah, can't do anything after September 21st or September 2021.
Dang it.
But you can still do Joe Biden describing something.
Joe Biden describing the beauty of an ice cream cone.
Cool.
I was gonna say something else, but that'll get us put in some serious probably put us on some serious like FBI raiders. So I'm gonna leave that comment out of there. I can't wait to hear what our commander in chief has to say about ice cream. I really feel like tonight he's probably sitting in his bingo hall at the White House eating some ice cream. So I feel like this is fitting.
He's got to have that comfort food after his team went down yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, him and Nancy are sitting there. I feel like who else is around that table? There's a couple other old people there. They're like 92 and still in politics. I feel like they've got a little nursing home there somewhere in that bunker. They've just got like Abraham Lincoln on like in like a cryo chamber. They've
Yeah,
got Bill Clinton's down there.
I think you're onto something because like how many 82-year-olds can you think of that can keep up with that type of schedule every day?
Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky were down there. in the cryo chamber.
Epstein too.
Epstein's
No doubt.
probably down there. Yeah. Epstein's definitely down there. Yeah, I just, it's like that. It's like that guy that thinks like Hitler and Lincoln and all of them are in a bunker somewhere. It's actually below the White House. Okay, all right. Here's a word from our commander in chief. Let me tell you something here, folks. There's nothing like a good ice cream cone. It's just one of those simple pleasures in life that you just make your day. I mean, the way that the scoop of the vanilla just sits there nestled in that cone. The sun shining bright down on it. It's just beautiful. And when you take that first lick, the way it's cold and creamy on your tongue, it's like you're transported to another world. And you know what? It's okay to indulge. It's okay to indulge in those little moments of joy, to savor them and appreciate them. That's what life's all about, right? All right, that was our commander in chief.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. That's what life's all about, right? So that was pretty good.
Yep.
There wasn't enough bumbling and stumbling, so I had to create my own.
I tried to get it to do it with stumbling and struggling, but it just kept saying it wouldn't do it. So
it wants
there's
to
the
make it look
censorship
good,
there.
all right? Come on. This is our commander in chief we're talking about. It's nothing to laugh at. His mental impairments are nothing to scoff at. They're God-given and beautiful. All right? He's fully capable of leading our great nation.
Anyone who says otherwise is a domestic terrorist.
You're a domestic terrorist. How dare you use Chat GPT against him? How dare you? You and all the Trumpies. We're gonna find you. We're gonna try you, and we're gonna do nothing about it. I don't know, guys. This was fun. Thanks, Peter. How do we access this Chat GPT? Because I feel like I'm gonna start using this in all the podcasts. I'm gonna start
you just go to chat. Well, just type in Chat GPT, and
Okay.
it'll take you to their like website. It's like
Chat GPT.
AI.com.
OpenAI. Okay.
Create an account, and you can start using it immediately.
Perfect. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fall down a rabbit hole, and you guys probably won't hear from me for like months. I'm gonna start, planning out well, that's a horrible idea. Our podcast will go to shit if I start basing it off the information Chat GPT gives me, and they'll also flag me on a terrorist watch list. Anyways, thanks for coming on, man, and we'll have to get you back on the next time. Either something happens here, or maybe, who knows, maybe we'll have to get you back on. I don't know if you're up for this. I'm plotting to do a conspiracy theories podcast. I don't know if you're a big conspiracy theories man, but I thought I'd offer you the invitation. It's gonna be one of these days.
There's a couple I want to talk about.
Okay. All right. I'd love to hear about them. I've got all sorts of conspiracy theories. That's how I live my life. My life is a conspiracy theory. So I'm looking forward to it. So we'll reach back out about the conspiracy theory podcast, because I think that'd be fun. But thanks for coming on, and guys, thanks everybody for sticking through this podcast. Hopefully you enjoy our Chat GPT love letters to Tom. Tom, I hope you enjoy. I can't wait for you to listen to this. We'll send it to you so you can listen to it on your way to Vegas. Enjoy Vegas. But until then, we'll see you next week. This week, be safe, be vigilant, but most importantly, be a good American. Thank you all for listening. Peace.